So, Kyle, I'm just going to ask you straight up, who do you have for game one and why?
I'm gonna go with the Suns here. I was just so impressed with what Devin Booker was able to display against the Lakers, especially in that game six matchup against the defending champions in the Lakers. He was absolutely sensational in that series, and he was just lights out behind the 3-point line. I think more is going to continue as far as his 3-point production goes against the Nuggets in game one. I think he's going to probably have somewhere between 35, possibly even 40 points, just because I don't think that the Nuggets defense is going to be able to contend with him. The Nuggets gave up 55 to Damian Lillard. And I think Devin Booker is definitely capable of putting out similar type numbers, not only in just game one, but in this series as well. But I think the big thing that we have to focus on here with the Suns is just Chris Paul. Even though that I think he's going to be limited because of his shoulder injury, that doesn't mean that it's all doom and gloom for the Suns. When he came back with 6 minutes left against the Lakers in game six, the Phoenix Suns went on a major run that took a 10-point lead where the Lakers were coming back into a 17-point lead, almost a 20-point lead, and essentially iced it. So I think his floor general abilities, his ability to facilitate the ball extremely well, I think is going to be pivotal in game one. It wouldn't surprise me if he becomes more of a facilitator in this series. And I think it's going to leave a lot of opportunities for DeAndre Ayton to get some easy buckets, just because you have to respect Chris Paul's ability to shoot mid-range jumpers, but also his ability to pass. And I think it's going to set up some guys down low to score, specifically with DeAndre Ayton, but it also frees up some sharpshooters. I think we're going to see Jay Crowder knock down a litany of 3-point shots in not only game one, but in this series as well. And you could look across the board. Cameron Johnson was knocking down threes against the Lakers, and it wouldn't surprise me if he does the same in this series as well. But as far as game one goes, I think the Suns win this one. I wouldn't say in like overwhelmingly convincing fashion. I think they win this game by 10 points, and I think they get game one at home.
So I'm actually going to combat this and predict the Denver Nuggets to go with the upset. I think the play of Nikola Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. are pretty dominant in terms of size. Michael Porter being a very big offensive threat in terms of size and offensive production. I think he becomes a kind of a mismatch for the Phoenix Suns to go out and guard. And I do think that Nikola is the best center in the league, right alongside Joel Embiid, and his ability to facilitate, rebound, and play on the defensive end is going to create havoc for the Phoenix Suns that are going to be driving it in and potentially trying to penetrate in the paint. I think Nikola goes for 30, 10, and 10, and he has a very big statement game for the Nuggets. And I think that, Monte Morris coming off the bench has been nothing short of stellar. And I think that he is a walking mismatch as well. He's been very efficient and very dialed in offensively, as well as facilitating the basketball towards his scores. And, Aaron Gordon has been a little lackluster, to say the least. Everybody thought he was going to come over from that trade with Orlando and kind of dominate power forward position. But he's been playing efficiently. He's been playing at least, maybe 15 and 10, 13 and 10. So I think that he has a solid game as well. So I definitely have Denver going out there and stunning Phoenix in Phoenix. And I think that's led solely by Nikola Jokic's dominant play right behind Michael Porter Jr. and those boys.
I think two X factors in this series. I think they're going to be two bench players. One is Cameron Payne with the Suns, and the other one is, like you mentioned, in Monte Morris. Those guys were pivotal for winning their respective series in round one. It's just that I think that Cameron Payne is going to have a excellent shooting performance in game one. Just the energy that Cameron brings to the Suns, especially coming off the bench, I think it's just infectious for that entire bench squad that goes out once the starters are out. And I don't know what it is with Cameron Payne, but he has been looking sensational to start the playoffs. And I think I think it's more of the same in this series, just because I don't think that the Denver defense is going to be able to combat against him. I just don't see it. But like I did mention Monte Morris, Monte Morris, I think, is going to have a solid series as well. He was huge for them in that Portland series, and I think it's going to be more the same for him. So if you're the Suns, you got to watch out for Monte Morris because he can shoot the lights out. I mean, he's a role player and is capable of scoring 30 points. That's no accident. Listen, Monte Morris can hoop, and if the Suns don't prepare for that, they could be in trouble. But like I said, I still got the Suns winning game one. I'd say maybe by 10 points, like I mentioned.